on love, on representing it. We are so alive. Planes and stars hang among stars, which I saw from the roof of the ineffable. I distilled almost to vapor. Meanwhile, the violation of social distance defines the panic element of sex, the marvelous panic, the hoarder's closeness of gorging the flesh. But none of this is love. Only a coarse moon, orbiting but cold, producer of tides and fickle odes, but itself an emblem of the impassive, and worse, unable to sustain life. Your purple earrings sit on the edge of an earthly sink, and I inhale your age of sage and pine. I inhale a particularity that could eat everything for 1,000 years, like a collapsing star, some angel of nervous light, our shape in a mirror, a forest, a garden, but nothing will stand in, nothing will complete. Not even the coast road we took. The views, stunning, then a rock slide halfway closed the way, and what else to do but pose with the ocean behind us in its currents and distant liners, and the moon a vivid coin. In McPherson County. Plunge into the revocations of the wind, says the wind into my face, as my lover coughs and wakes 1,000 roosters on the edge of a cemetery where my family meets inside the earth, nourishing incredible Polands and humble Germanys. Nourishing incredible Polands and humble Germanys, when the wind stops blowing, my pockets have filled with wind. My lover slaps me with a picture of my mother's glasses, and we laugh into the stillness as she handles me, as she chews my neck wearing the mask of some kind of cat, and the rain hisses, and the mud road gashed by skidding trucks gains ruts, all the way to red clay whose edges will harden to blades, and I beg a skunk to invest in the smell of roses, and the skunk kills 14 chickens, and their necks spurt roses, and the goldfinch peels its claim as the wind calls the blessing, look ahead and look behind. Looking behind, we fall among headstones, and we will meet on the earth, for now the smell of soil is so thick. I think of something risen up, riled, alive in the loam, the scent of wet cunt, the scent of a tarp left months in a shed, a summer task. A summer task is burning fields, is feathers floating in a shed, is shedding pages and pages of graves. But I do not want to think about any of this, not the smoke in my heart, not how flesh gashed does not bleed, but smokes while my lover lives miles in the future, while I wait miles from the future as she peels her claims, chewing roosters whose necks become vases of roses in a shed on the edge of a cemetery. January. What began as an itch in the throat by the morning has me on the floor, writhing, writing letters to the ceiling, moaning, cursing, reeling from the nose, eyes from the bum, from the mouth, unable to eat or drink, the body radical in its fragility, open to poison like a mountain stream. I have always been full of plans. My father says, mother used to say a Talmudic thing, man plans, God laughs. On TV, the president's eyes are always tired. I don't know what to feel is a feeling, everything wrecking in slow, boring motion. I heave and spin. I don't want to be sad, but this is real. In the long night, a siren wailing, and thinking it one of his, a dog gives song in response. Outside the war, say, thank you. But I'm already gone. To men in the photograph from 1916. Looking unharassed, having a blast, shipping out the next day, each with a white number painted on boots, rifles, hankies, badges, flutes, mess kits, casings, posters saying, lend the way they fight, buy bonds to your utmost. from which I get a feeling I can only call time. It is a spell of a boy called Corey, whose mother was knitting as he was spent in the mud of Flanders, crying up at the stupid clouds of Europe. For the soul, no soap, only the voice of Eddie Rickenbacker, ace flyer in the blasé of a financial consultant, explaining how he went straight at the enemy plane, pulling the trigger. He figures his chances get bigger if he don't look, or the famous writer saying, "We're cooked. All cooked. The thing is not to recognize it. The last one to recognize it is the winner, is the winter ago, in a time when, says one plaque, many artists produced only brooding. Ruin was muse, still is, and clouds outside the museum are a wedding party. Watch them pose for photos and think, oh."